Hey, what's up, everybody? Just wanted to make this disclaimer real quick before we get into this. Not everything that I say is going to be politically correct, but I don't really give a damn. Um, I can't say that. What's going on, everybody? This is Chris, Small Circle. Just wanted to make this disclaimer real quick before we get started on the podcast. Not everything I say is going to be politically correct. So if I hurt your feelings or if I say something that is offensive to you, I'm sorry that you got your feelings hurt and you need to man up. Nope. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Chris at Small Circle. Just wanted to make this disclaimer real quick before we get started. Everything I say on here is not always going to be politically correct. For that, I apologize in advance. I'm not here to hurt anybody's feelings or to offend anyone. With that being said, enjoy the show. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Chris at Small Circle. Another episode for y'all. Today I got some special guests. I got two members of Geto Poet Society. I got Israel, aka Real, and I got Ross, aka Roscoe. They're here today to talk about music, the evolution of it, how they got started in it, and all that. Israel, you're a rapper, you produce.
I'm an engineer.
You engineer?
And run the label, getting us on platforms and stuff.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And then Ross, I know we'll get into it a little bit later, but you make beats. And then you play bass, and drums, instruments, and stuff like that, right?
More of the music end. Israel's more of the business side of stuff. So yeah, I mean we both do our music together, but yeah, he's more of the business.
The label. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Me and Ross though, we go way back.
Yeah.
From the beginning of starting this.
Yeah. Well, I know.
GPS.
Right. Okay. And
so he's an original member, from the very beginning.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know you had moved in. You'd moved here from Greenspoint, was it?
Right. Yeah.
What year was that?
96.
1996.
Yeah.
Okay.
96.
So you were a New Caney High School alum, right? You came out to New Caney High School. That's
Right.
where I first saw you, or whatever. We didn't really meet or kick it or whatever until maybe about 10 or so years ago.
We have friends of friends.
Right.
Much yeah.
Yeah. There's GPS. It's a society. It runs deep. There's more people that couldn't make it today, but we're gonna have them on. We'll interview them as well. Shout out to Cisco. Shout out to Gus. Andrew.
A&R Music.
Yes.
That's Andrew Rodriguez and definitely Young James.
Yes. Yes.
That's
Young James for sure.
That's my right hand partner right there.
Okay. Well, for them that don't know, what is GPS and how'd you come up with the name?
Well, when it first started, it was like I used to do beats when I was like 12, and one of my friends' brothers was like, "Hey man, I heard you do beats," and I was like, "Man, I mean I do beats, but on a drum machine. It wasn't really like I had keyboards and all this sound, but I made this little drum machine work for me, So I started showing him some stuff and." So he was like, "Man, I want to write flows." I was like, "All right," and also I would show some of the kids at school, because we had Walkmans and stuff back then. I mean, I'm talking about you talking about like 92, bro.
Like tapes before
93,
before CDs and stuff even, right?
Yeah. So I would use a 4-track, and my dad, he been doing music for a long time.
Yeah, so you come from music, right?
Yes,
Your dad he's a musician as well.
Yes.
Dad, uncles.
Yeah, my dad, all my uncles,
So music runs deep in your family.
Yeah, before I was born.
Okay.
Before my dad was born.
Okay.
My grandfather, was in the orchestra, played 8 instruments.
Yeah. So what did they think of you like going into this genre?
I mean, they were proud, you know, like
Just as long as you were doing
it's just
something
like,
with music, right?
or staying out of trouble, you know,
Yeah.
because it was either the music or the streets, and when you're in the streets, you know, all kinds of trouble out there.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
Well, okay, yeah, the name GPS Geto Poet Society, right?
Yeah. Well, when me and Ross started making beats, I had my friend's brother. His name was Triple R for Ronnie Ray Ramos.
Okay.
Triple R, you know what I'm saying? And then Juan Reynosa was my other partner from Greens Point, and we called him Lil G. You know, and he had been a friend of mine since like middle school. You know, we hung out in the same kind of crew. You know what I'm saying? But when we lived in Greens Point, because they would come out to New Caney just for us to write and make beats, and you know, they were like, we would start from scratch. You know what I'm saying? Like nothing, just
nothing.
Come up with something. And they would come out to New Caney, and when we were thinking of the name, there was one thing that kept us all tight in Greens Point, because in the early 90s, it was a lot of gang banging and shooting, and you know, it was crazy being a teen in that time, because basically the teens were the ones shooting people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And we were all in different areas, so different crews, whatever, and we decided to become Greens Point Syndicate.
Oh,
like,
okay.
You know, so that was GPS.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So when we were coming up with the name, Triple R was like, what about Geto Poet Society? So really, Triple R named us. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I was kind of skeptical at first because of, you know, Dead Poet Society.
Right. Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, that's why I removed Dead and put Ghetto, like Ghetto Boys, because that was like, that was our favorite group, you know.
Yeah,
like,
and you spell it the same too.
Yeah, we spell it the same to kind of like not to jack them, but to say we from H Town too.
Right.
Pay homage to them, like, you know, like it's not a diss. It's more of a, you know, y'all our favorite. You know what I'm saying?
Like I wouldn't say inspiration, but you know,
well, yeah,
something
an
to look up to,
inspiration.
really,
Yeah.
to be honest. But like, look, if
An
these guys can do it,
inspiration,
then we can too. You know what I mean?
It wasn't so much that; it was just like inspiration, like you said, like the way that they said things. You know, like, I ain't going to war, and you know, homie don't play that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, them songs, like, you know, they were live back then.
Was it like
that's what I mean. Them and Dr. Dre type beats were kind of made me want to be a producer.
Timberland.
Yeah. Whenever I was young.
Yeah.
You know, of course, you know, as you get older, times change. You gotta, you know, keep reinventing.
Right.
You know, so, but definitely music, you never stop learning.
Yeah. Okay.
Never. Yeah.
Well, to switch directions now over to Ross. Ross, me and you go way back. I mean, like probably before we were able to walk even.
Yeah, first
you know what I mean? Right down the road and stuff like that, whatever. We used to hang out, all that stuff, ride bikes together, all that stuff and everything, get into trouble and all that. The late nights of our parents hanging out and stuff, and we'd be right there and stuff. Yeah, for sure. I remember. Do you have any musicians in your family?
All my siblings were in band, with like trumpets, things like that, but nothing.
Nothing major. That's like they're making their money off of musicians
like
and
doing
stuff,
anything past high school. Not really. My grandfather, he played the violin, the cello, pretty much anything with strings.
Right.
So I kind of, I guess, got that from him.
Yeah. So, and then for those that don't know, where Ross, he was, I don't know if you are or you were whatever part of the band called Building a Better Spaceship. Which I mean, before that it was the I guess the local band or whatever.
Yeah.
In the late '90s, right?
Tipper Scarlet.
Tipper Scarlet, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Were you based at that time too? Because I know you started out in the drums, right?
Yep,
Was like the drums like short lived, and then you moved over to the bass, or when did you move over from the drums to bass?
During high school,
Okay.
it was always drums.
Yeah.
I guess toward the end of my high school, 10th, 11th, 12th grade, I picked up guitar, and that's
Okay.
when I kind of started experimenting with it and enjoyed it. And then I tried the bass, and I just fell in love with it. Kind of mixed the guitar and the drums, making beats, everything into one. So, yeah, I've been doing that ever since. I got in a band out here with Adam Holt, Rick Johnson.
Yeah.
And then we moved to California.
I say y'all went out to LA, right?
Yeah, went out to LA.
And we tried to make it big, which I mean, really,
We did.
I think you guys did pretty good.
Yeah,
right?
we recorded 3 albums, 2 with Universal Music Group. We toured a lot. We recorded some tracks with Scott Weiland.
Yeah.
Toured for
Didn't
a few years.
Didn't you do a track with Chester?
No, we never did anything with them. We did a couple of shows with them.
Okay.
Yeah, we did some shows with them. We did some with Incubus, 30 Seconds to Mars. STP was Scott Weiland was always a big influence, and we got to actually go into a studio with Scott Weiland and sit down. He was right next to me like this, and I was recording bass tracks, and it was
mind blowing.
Mind blowing, dude. Yeah,
that's crazy. Man.
Yeah, so it was cool. And then toward the end of high school is when I met Israel, and we started doing beats, and it was just instant chemistry.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like did the first album together.
So like for starting out, it was just a beat machine that you guys were working on.
Yeah, we worked on a DR5,
DR5,
a Boss DR5, drum machine.
Oh, man, dude.
Yeah, and then like we started working with Cakewalk, but we first was starting with the what is that Roland, that little.
Tascam. Was that Tascam?
No, it was a Roland with Mike.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah. Because around after like a couple of years of us making beats and doing that, like I know Triple R was older than us, and he was more like, I'm gonna do my family thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And G, he got himself in big trouble, man.
Oh yeah.
He's on death row.
Okay.
So he's been gone since like 2003. 2002, something like that.
Yeah, it was early.
Yeah, it was early when we started. So around that time, Jimmy comes around. Like actually Jimmy came before that when they were still around, because he had some songs with G, and he had songs with Triple R when we did Smoke Trees. That's that Smoke Trees. It's crazy because we did that like 21 years ago.
Yeah. Like
we very like I remixed it, and because now I know how to engineer and do all this stuff, so I remixed it and I put it out, and it actually did pretty good. I was like, for a 20-year-old song,
20 years.
Yeah. It was, I mean, at the time when I put it out, it was 20 years old, and I was like, damn.
So you've been in it since 96?
Nah, well, working together 99. Same with Jimmy, 99,
whatever.
Yeah.
You already had like 4 or 5 years under your belt, right?
I mean, as far as making beats,
like as far as you, like
me,
yourself.
Myself, yeah. I mean, I learned from my dad.
Right. Okay.
I would go with him to studios,
yeah,
like Hot Dog Studios, and different studios around Houston. And I remember there's one on Wirt Road that we used to go to. I think it was Sound Arts or something like that.
Okay.
But I would like sit at the console and be like trying to look at everything he does, because I knew that when I first saw it when I was younger, I was about 7 or 8. I was like, man, I want to do that. I want to be able to make music like that,
Right.
So I mean, it's definitely my pops was my inspiration as far as doing it, and I had the access to it because he was doing it, and then I seen how he would do his practicing his riffs and stuff on the Tascam. I knew all you needed cassette, and then you could layer them and then bounce them over to another track, so you could open up 3 more tracks until you get your stuff done. And that's how I worked it. I turned 4 tracks into 16 tracks.
Yeah.
So I mean, because I kept bouncing.
And then what? You're like what, 14?
14, 15,
14 years old?
Yeah.
Like that? Yeah.
I would get grounded, and then I had nothing to do.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, I was just make beats.
Yeah, right, yeah.
I had a radio in my room. I didn't have no TV.
I'll show you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I had a question, just because I'm a fan of hip hop and music in general, right? And like, I was kind of the oddball around here growing up, whatever, with friends and stuff like that, whatever. They were all like, back then, you got to remember, it was like mid '90s, so like country, like Garth Brooks, and, you know, George Strait, that was like the big thing, and rodeos and stuff like that. You know what I mean? If you listen to like hip hop or whatever and stuff, it was kind of considered like not an outcast, but like definitely different for sure, right? But that was me. Like that's all really all I listened to. You know, and I'm gonna date myself, but I'd go to Sam Goody and be, you know, everybody else would be in the country section, and I'd be in the hip hop section, buying, you know, Geto Boys and NWA, and you know, and the Chronic album, and you know, all that stuff, you know. So, but anyway, my question is that you started making beats and stuff over there, and you continued to do that when you moved out here. Yeah. What kind of culture shock did you hit, or did you move out here and you were like, you ran into people that were digging what you were doing, or you know, or was anything like that going on out here?
Nah, I didn't hear nobody out here doing nothing, and I was like, man, I could be the first one in this area to make some music as far as rap music. Yeah. Because I didn't hear nobody doing nothing. Yeah. And then whenever I found out that they made music, because I went with them while they were practicing. I think it was you, Roger, Sundance, and Billy Elliott.
Yeah, Billy.
Yeah. And then I think afterwards was Adam for a little bit, but you know, we all hung out, you know, and hey, big shout out to Wesley, man. I mean, you're my best friend, love you, bro.
Yeah, shout out to Wesley for sure. This is the second time we shout out to him because I had his brother on last week. So
well, yeah, you know, I mean, we're family.
He's a solid dude, bro. For real.
We're definitely family, man.
Yeah.
He's alright.
You know, because like I was saying, like I didn't really know many people out here, and I did know some, but I didn't want to go back to what I just came from as far as getting in trouble and all that. Right. So, but when I met Wesley, it was more of a different vibe, different crew, and it was all chill, man. We were all we were just living, you know. We were young, but when I showed him, hey man, I do these beats, you know, and I'm showing him, and then he's like, let me see, dude, and he starts putting a melody together, right? And then Jimmy comes in and he's automatically, you know, I rode up in this on a horse with no name, and it was the birth of Bad Business, you know, like that was our first baby, one. You know.
That's a killer song, by the way.
That was the first one.
That was our first one that we got that sounded crisp and clear and just.
It was like a real song.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. What's funny is that like I didn't really hear that song until like 10 years later, and when I first heard it, I was like, man, that's a dope new song. And then Jimmy's like, nah, bro, like we recorded that like a long time ago.
First one ever.
So you know, that just shows.
Well, that was the thing. Like we didn't give many out because we didn't know the business. Right. We were just making music, and that's something that people need to know. Is like it's easy to make the music when you know how to make the music, but the business part you really gotta know what you're doing, because if not, you will lose parts of your life. Right?
Well, they say it's like it's 90% business, right? Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? You know, that's what they say. Y'all two would know it best.
I mean, you gotta know your publishing and your and stuff like that. But
so
your publishing contracts,
right? So when we go outside the family. Right now, I mean, we have contracts with each other, but really it's just we're brothers, man.
More of a handshake type deal.
Yeah, we're brothers, man. You know, like if someone were to come to me and say, man, I'm happy the way you're doing me, man. I'd rip it for him. You know, it's like
just like
my brother, man. You know,
yeah.
I just want you to be happy. You know,
not everybody's gonna agree. Right. You know, whatever. If you think somebody else can make you like a better sound or something like, or you like somebody else's sound, and you know, whatever. Why would I try to sing your way?
Right. Well, even if you want to work with somebody, I don't really. You know, it is what it is. is, bro.
Yeah.
And you got my blessing always.
Yeah.
You know, especially if it's gonna be beneficial.
Yeah.
And all of us are always gonna be crew and family.
Yeah.
Because that's just what we are. You know, we're brothers.
Yeah.
In this music deal.
So speaking on culture shocks, right? Ross, you were here. Y'all had a band or whatever. You know, who Adam for sure. Adam, shout out to Adam Holt for sure. Another one
Rick.
from Rick Johnson, right?
Yeah, Rick Johnson.
Yeah, right. He was a little bit older.
Yeah, he was a little bit older. He was a jock. He played baseball.
Yeah.
But he played music too.
Yeah.
Super talented guitar player.
Yeah. So what kind of a culture shock was it to come from Houston to like the heartbeat of of America, I guess. You know what I mean? Music wise.
Yeah, it was crazy. For a little while, just getting adjusted and actually playing shows, and I mean, just playing on stages that you've only heard about,
or like seen in movies, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like we're going to play at the Roxy this weekend, and it's different. I mean, from how we grew up. You know how we grew up.
Yeah.
Country, big time. Not really.
You could go play at Dance City.
You can get a Blue Angel.
Blue Angel.
But yeah, it was different, big time. But I mean, it was awesome. I mean, that's the Mecca of music, or it was for a while.
So did you guys already have like something in the making to make y'all go to LA, or were you just like, you know what, dude, we're just gonna go out there and give it our shot?
We didn't have anything. They actually moved out there a couple of months before I did.
Okay.
And then I moved out there, and nothing. We didn't have any songs. We didn't have anything. Like we got out there, wrote an EP real quick. Found a studio in Hollywood and recorded an EP, and then after that it was pretty much game on.
Wow.
So yeah, it was different.
Yeah.
It was pretty dope, man. When I went out there with him one time.
Did you?
Yeah, and I sat in on a practice, and it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Adam is a beast on them drums.
Yeah, man, he's nasty, bro.
You a beast, Adam?
Like during this whole COVID thing or whatever, he would set his camera up or whatever, and you know what I mean, just go on and stuff like that.
If I showed you my text messages right now, it's all he sends me at least 2 or 3 videos a day.
Just him playing, just busting out
every day.
That guy, he was crazy. I remember him from high school.
Super nuts. He's been nuts,
yeah.
But super good guy. He's very talented.
Yeah, and that's what I noticed. Like once I started seeing everybody around, like man, I was like, there's a lot of talent out here, you know.
Yeah.
Especially like Sundance when you seen, you know, play whatever.
Yeah.
We all seen that, but I was like, man, everybody talented, you know. So
yeah.
As far as that's why I was like, man, I gotta bring something different with this rap stuff.
Right.
And I'm glad he jumped on board, like, cause then we started killing it.
Yeah. Well, that's something that I respect for sure, because like it's really hard to get recognized as a rap artist or a hip hop group out here. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Especially back then.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
In the late 90s, we weren't necessarily talking about being role models either, you know.
Right. Yeah. Right. It's like right.
We were talking about the streets and how we came up, how we grew up, and which is a pretty vivid, ugly picture. But I mean, we were just trying to speak our truth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Just like another artist or whatever is singing or whatever about their life or whatever. You're doing the same thing, right? But it's just more real, I guess. Right?
And then Jimmy is he comes up with hooks quick, like he's a monster at that.
Yeah,
he just be and man, it sounds awesome.
I've personally been in the studio with both of y'all in there, and it's a sight.
I keep saying Jimmy, but it's Young James.
It's Young James, yeah. we all know him as that's how I got introduced to him was Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy.
It's Young James. Y'all look him up on Spotify. We got solo albums out, so as well as the Geto Poet Society albums out.
So I'll have all those in the links or whatever after and stuff. And we'll talk more about that in a little bit. So we talked about the collabs that you've done, right? As far as going over there with building a better spaceship, going to tour with all these different bands and all that stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
what kind of collabs I know, but they don't. What kind of collabs have you done? Have you done with like Houston rappers or rappers in general?
I've
Like
collabed with
some big names.
a lot of rappers, but some big names. My favorite, and I still have the unreleased song of me and Bushwick Bill.
Bushwick Bill from Geto
Ghetto
Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was an awesome experience. You know, I did a show out in it was like on Hempstead or something like that, and right when I was doing my set, Bushwick Bill showed up, and he was listening to what I was spitting, and when I got off, I was like, I introduced myself, and then I was like, hey man, you want to hear more? And he was like, yeah, let's do it. So, he was just there to make an appearance, really, you know, get it all, wound up, whatever.
Right place at the right time.
Right. And then so we went in there in my truck, and we started listening to my album that I had just been recording, and he was like, yo, I'm digging it.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's up, man? You want to do a song? He was like, when you want to do it? I was like, I don't know, tomorrow or whenever you talking about. What? He goes, give me your number. So I gave him my number, and the next day he calls me and he goes, yo, Rilla, you ready? I'm over here heading your way. You said Lee Road, and I had a studio right there on Lee Road in the warehouses.
Yeah.
For years, because that's where 360 was out of too.
Right, yeah.
Marlon.
Yeah, shout out to Marlon.
Yeah,
for
shout out
360 for sure.
Marlon is the one who taught me how to engineer,
Yeah.
straight up. So
And he's
much props.
so yeah, Marlon, he goes back as well, right? Doing a song with like a Bun B and right, and or was he the engineer behind it or something?
Well, me and him, we both recorded Mike Jones. Like
That's right. Yeah.
Right after Mike Jones blew up with Who's Mike Jones.
Like mid 2000s, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's like 2006, something like that.
That's whenever the spotlight was actually on Texas,
Right.
Houston, whatever, Dallas, and all that, right?
And the thing with that,
Raw, Slim Thug, like all them.
Yeah, I was switching house dude.
Yeah, I remember I recorded Killer Calleon and Lou Hawk was there. Just people were coming in and out. Lil Mo.
Yeah.
It was a weird time, but it was real cool. I mean, because we had to record overnight because they didn't want anyone taking pictures of them or seeing them out and then following them, whatever. So we would record overnight.
Okay.
It started 10 at night to
Going to the morning.
5 in the morning or 4 in the morning.
Because they didn't want nobody knowing
but,
that was there.
Yeah, but at the same time, they was out parking lot pimping, Yeah. I remember Killer, he stayed outside in his Charger for a minute, I guess, doing a verse or whatever. And he come in and lay it down, and I mean, people were just coming in and out, and it was pretty cool because I got to meet a lot of people like that.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's cool, man. And this was before. I'm assuming this was before, because it
was in the middle, after 2003, 2003 we recorded That was then, This Is Now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jason.
Yeah, Jason.
Yeah, shout out to Jason for sure. Yeah.
Shout out to Bizzle. Shout out to Lady D.
Yeah, Lady
D. Shout out to Einstein.
Yeah, shout out to Dollar. Shout out to
Shout out Top Dollar.
Sure,
Everybody that was a part of that project. It was, like I said, it was constant.
That was fun.
Joe Black. It was in and out.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was fun. That's when it was fun.
Yeah.
Martin would take care of the business, and we would just make the music. And a lot of that was overnight too. A lot of work overnight.
Yeah. So we talked about earlier, whatever that you guys were, all of y'all was on the DR5, right? The beat machine, right? Like no screen on it or nothing. Just hitting it, right? You had the timing just right or whatever. I don't know if they had quantized back then.
I mean, we learned to quantize on that.
But you probably didn't even know how to do it because there was no YouTube trying to show you.
Yeah, no, we figured it out, though.
Right? Yeah,
Bad Business was the first one that we did.
Quantized.
That was quantized.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then y'all just stumbled on it?
I don't even remember
Like,
how
you know
we
what I
did
mean?
that.
Like, you know,
I started going through it, and then I was like, man, there's something about these notes. So then I would change it, and then I'd hear it, and it'd change right up to, like, well, that's how I played it.
yeah.
You know, I didn't play it this other way where it's just so that's how I figured out, like, okay, we're gonna have to use this quantized in order to get our beats quantized.
So where I'm going with it now is
then
like,
we went to keyboards.
we went to keyboards, right? The Roland, the Korg, the Triton, all that. And then from that,
The motif.
right, the motif. So from that to now, basically, right? I mean, you know, now there's there's software on your computer. You can do it with the
you can do
Portable
it
studio.
and then now
on your phone.
they're doing it on their phones.
Portable studio.
No, that's what's crazy. I think last time I talked to you, you said you were on your lunch break in your truck making a beat. And then you sent it to me later that day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, bro, like, that's just, it's mind blowing. It really was.
You asked me for a track, and I was like, well, I'm gonna give him a fresh one.
Yeah.
We'll make it fresh.
Right now.
Yeah, for sure. That's cool. Do you have any advice, either one of you guys? You know, I mean, y'all pretty much been there and done that. You guys have any advice for the newcomers that are coming up? You know what I mean? It's business wise, I guess.
Watch what you sign.
Yeah.
Watch what you sign.
Watch what you sign.
Spring for the lawyer.
Definitely.
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
But be serious. If you're serious, be serious about it. You know,
Yeah.
and don't stop. Don't stop being serious about it.
Yeah.
But if you're not serious, then you know, don't waste your time. Or if you love doing it, just do it.
Do it because you love it.
Do it because you love it.
Right.
That's what I'm
And
trying
then
to get
everything else will fall in place.
to. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because I mean, that's the reason
Do it
why.
because you love
The
it.
reason why I respect you guys so much is because, like, for one, out here nobody was really doing what either one of you guys were doing. A couple of guys were doing what you were doing. You know what I mean? Trying to make it in a band and stuff. Especially when grunge hit.
Oh, yeah,
Everybody and their mom whatever tried to
was
be
in a
like
band.
it was in a band or something. You
Yeah.
see flyers or stickers or somewhere or something, you
Everywhere.
know, and all that, right? Doing actually like garage banding it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Come in my garage and hear us play and all that. But like in your case, you know, I guess in both of y'all's case, because it really didn't fit the bill out here.
Out here, for sure.
Right? You know what I mean?
Country
It
music,
easily could have been. Y'all easily could have just hung it up and been like, you know what, man, it's just not hitting
It's
out
not
here.
gonna work.
You know, whatever. You know, it's just like, but y'all didn't give up. You went out and got it. You know, you went to LA. You went out and got it. You know, you went to Houston and got it. You know, all that. So it's just it ends
up being full circle because like from the beginning now we're back to the beginning where it's just our small circle.
right on.
You know,
I like that. I'm gonna use it.
yeah.
It's always,
Because it did get out of control for a minute.
Yeah.
I mean, it got to the point where I was going to the studio and there was people there that had no business being there.
Right.
And that takes away from your creativity whenever it's just a party.
Well, especially in 2006, because like when grunge hit, everybody tried to be a rocker, right? And then 2006, when the spotlight came to Houston, everybody wanted to be a rapper.
Right.
You know what I mean? It was just, you know, I had my hand in it, you know, for a little bit. You know what I mean? But you know, it just everybody was just trying to, you know, here, listen to my demo, listen to my, you know what I mean? You have a stack of demos like this tall, and you're just trying to get a shirt at the mall. You know what I mean? Something like that.
I remember that.
Listen to this, listen to this, listen to this. Right,
Yeah.
And then have a Discman or an MP3 and be like, no, just listen to this real
I
quick.
remember that.
I'm like, bro, dude, I'm just trying to go get like, you know, some, yeah, dude. But okay, this is a good question, I think. And you think it's harder for new artists? Do you think it's harder or easier for new artists, whether it's, you know, band or, you know, so yeah, right, nowadays?
I honestly,
You think it's right, yeah. For rappers, for, you know, people that are trying to, you know, get heard on band or, you know, whatever.
I think it's Me personally, I think it's easier nowadays. Maybe not to make money, but it's easier to have a million different platforms that you can immediately.
It's easier
throw
for the
everything up.
platforms,
Right.
but as far as like getting views and all that, you gotta invest in a company that does that, and then you gotta worry about if they're robots, because then they'll remove your stuff off the line.
Right.
And you pay this money to get established. You know, like I've spent thousands of dollars, you know, working at this stuff, and I never really seen none of it back, but it's just so we can have that platform, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But as far as the marketing and promotion, it's hard to trust somebody doing that.
Right.
You know, because they got a bunch of online stuff, and they're always like sending me emails like, you know, music funding and this and that. But really, it's you might end up saying agree to something that you just gave away all your music to.
Right.
You know? Yeah. So it's definitely hard to trust any of that.
Well, there's no privacy these days. Like I guarantee you, we have our phones out,
and then the big labels, they're straight up trying to stick it to you because I mean, you really get paid off performing. Not really. I mean, you got 360 deals and all that.
So you're merch and performing, right?
Yeah, I mean, they might chunk you in advance at first. You know, like, hey man,
which is basically just a tax write-off for them.
Yeah, you have to pay it back.
And then so
it come out of your budget, and then you know you end up with hardly nothing. You know, so it's definitely. I mean, I don't want to be with no big label, but I do want a distributor. You know what I'm saying?
Right, that can get you out there, I guess.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and there's a few out there like that's pretty good, like, you know, Empire and
Empire Records,
GT Digital.
Okay.
You know, I've thought about trying to reach out to one of them. You know, since we do got albums out there. You know, I know we have a lot of product out there.
Yeah.
Because I do need some help on that end. You know, it's hard to do the engineering, the producing,
and making the music.
Yeah, the rapping and the business. You know,
like we were saying, business is a big part of it.
Yeah,
you know, it's the most crucial part. To be honest, my answer to that question, I'm glad you guys both said it's easier. My answer to that question, I think, would be harder, and here's why. Just because it's so easy for you to become a rapper now, or you know what I mean? Right? You know what I mean? It's like so oversaturated. You know, everybody. It takes nothing to get us to get your stuff on Spotify. It takes nothing to get your stuff on SoundCloud. Yeah. You know, all this, whatever. So, I mean, YouTube or wherever. You know what I mean? So like, the competition is way more fierce.
That's why I explained it. It's easy to get out there as far as platform, but it's hard to get your marketing.
Right.
And your promotion.
It's hard to be the person or the group that sticks out from everybody else, the millions of people. That's the hardest part.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely crazy. All right, man. So we'll talk about the last projects or whatever that you guys have done or whatever. Right. I'll mention that later at the end. What new projects are you guys doing? You guys got anything in the books right now, like that you guys are working on or anything like that? You know, I know
I'm working with you.
Yeah. Sure. I didn't pay him to say that either. It's not
early winter.
Right, but you're always over at his house or whatever.
Yeah,
you guys are airdrop, right? The beats or whatever and stuff.
We're always being creative. No matter what, almost every single day.
Yeah.
Like I'll send him music, he sends me music. We work on each other's music. I go out to his house, we dump beats, and
we did one yesterday that was like out of the ordinary, which is a reggae beat, and that's the first time we really.
Was that what you was playing earlier?
Yeah. That was
okay. Send me a snippet and I'll drop it at the end of this.
Yeah, for sure.
So they can hear it. Yeah. By the way, the intro music to the podcast that you guys been listening to for the past few weeks now, that's their instrument. I'm not really sure
Well,
who
I
mixed that
did
one.
it.
You did that one,
Yeah,
right?
I did that one.
Yeah, that's him actually that did the instrumental. I asked him if I could use it. He was gracious enough to let me do it. So anyway, you got any young, inspiring, artists out there or whatever? If you need beats, you need recording or whatever, these guys right here are the ones to go to for sure.
Out in this area.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so you're not having to, go.
Or we could find somewhere where you at if you want, to lay a track on or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can always do beats. Everything's digital, electronic
Like
nowadays.
I said, it got to the point where we could just be somewhere and make actual tracks, just right off here.
Yeah. And that's on GarageBand, right?
Yeah, I use GarageBand on this. But I use Pro Tools to drop it.
To drop it in.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But it sounds good. I can mix in there and do everything I do like on Pro Tools. But it ain't nothing like Pro Tools to me,
Right.
Because that's what I got my thousands of hours on. So
yeah, and that's kind of the go-to program, right, for recording.
Well, it's easier for me to mix and get everything lined out because we'll go one by one. Like that song that was just playing, it was 28 tracks.
Yeah, 28 tracks.
28 tracks just to make that song.
Okay.
And so we'll play each instrument and we figure out our tempo, blah blah blah. And then I just like a chef. And I know how long a song's supposed to be.
Right.
You got your 3.5 minutes to 4 minutes, so I'm just and then it's in order.
Yeah.
But we are working on. We're always learning more.
Sure.
Yeah, always.
Well, that's what we were talking about earlier. It's always changing. It's always evolving.
Yeah.
The music's like really just always evolving. It's trying to get it's like.
Yeah.
It's that easy.
Yeah.
Right. But I say that it's that easy. There's no way I could I couldn't make anything like that if I tried. If I had the years of experience that you guys had, I probably could. But
because we went from playing keyboards that were this long to keyboards that were like this big, and then now we're just, we know the notes and all that stuff. So it goes with time.
Yeah, because with Andrew, I heard him whenever he first started out, and I'm never gonna say that it wasn't good or it was garbage or whatever and stuff, but it's progressed just so good, man.
His beat is so deep.
Yeah,
man.
you played a beat from him the other day when I was over there, and it was just phenomenal. He definitely come a long way.
Yeah, Andrew's definitely.
I'd like to get him on for sure.
I wanted him to be with us, this time, but actually we were scheduled for a couple of days ago.
Yeah, so the freeze happened and stuff, and we didn't want anybody getting out and stuff like that. So, but we had it was kind of I was telling you, it was kind of a perfect storm. We had everybody coming,
right?
And then we had to reschedule, and I was like, man, it's never going to be like that. There's no way we're going to be able to do like that.
But I'll definitely let them know when we could. There's more coming because there's more to Geto Poet Society than just me and Ross.
For sure.
Yeah.
There's been, I can't even count all the members that's been a part of GPS.
Happy New Guinea.
Yeah. But solid. We got Thread, Young James.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And what's unique about everybody Geto Poets is everybody has a different flavor that they bring to the table.
Yeah, right.
But it all meshes perfectly together.
Yeah,
right.
It's crazy.
There's Threat and Threat, they're brothers, and they have a Spanish album, right? Or they're in the middle of making one.
Well, we've already made one. I need to mix it and put it out. It's called Primero Salto.
Okay.
And that's in Spanish. But Tres is working on his album right now, which is Cisco,
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
And
he was gracious enough to let me be a part of that. That was really cool.
Yeah, and so, we just find time to knock it out. Jimmy, Young James.
Yeah.
I know he's putting together something, and it's gonna be beautiful because I've already heard it. some of it.
Right.
And it's a good thing, man. I mean, we've all evolved.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We've all evolved.
Right. And I mean, I'm sure it's hard to find time. We all have jobs.
Yeah.
Kids and stuff and all that, whatever, and girlfriends, dogs, whatever.
Dogs,
yeah. No kids for you,
No
bro.
kids.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, hey, I really appreciate y'all coming through, man. This, like I said, this won't be the last time I'm having you guys on again or whatever with Cisco and them whenever we get them on and stuff. So yeah, this will definitely be continued on for sure. And then whenever you guys, whatever you guys are pushing, whatever, just let me know. I'll throw some snippets on here or whatever, and I'll promote y'all through this thing and stuff. It's snowballing, man. I thought that just my old lady and a couple friends were just gonna be watching this, but I'm up to like almost 50 subscribers now, and my videos are catching views and all that stuff. Shout out to all my subscribers and fans out there and all that stuff like that. It's just it's overwhelming. And I really appreciate all the love.
I appreciate you asking us to come out here, because it's real about supporting local business.
Yeah.
I'm definitely a believer of that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, especially, I know you come from Greenspoint, but you've been here long enough to see things grow.
Right. I've been out here more than half my life.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, big time.
So, I mean, I can honestly say New Candy saved me.
Yeah. Right.
I call it New Candy.
Yeah. And I haven't mentioned, if I hadn't mentioned it before, I said they're both New Candy alum. But anyway, so with that being said, I'll drop some links or whatever and hear little snippets and stuff of the stuff that they've been working on. Like I said, the intro beat, whatever, is done by this guy here. I'll get a track from him, whatever. I'll throw that on there as well.
Your next track is by him.
Okay.
Yeah, Rest of the South.
Yes,
okay. Yeah, right on. That'll work. Yeah.
I just threw like an instrument or something in there, but that's mainly his work right there.
Okay.
That's why I gave it to you, because I wanted you to have
Just
different flavor.
Right. Yeah.
And if we're gonna work on a project, it's gonna be nice. I like that first project, man.
Yeah, man. Well, hey, man. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the love. I just get in there and I just try not to disappoint, man. That's my whole deal, man. That's for you guys out there, go follow GPS. Instagram, Spotify, Facebook.
A lot on Facebook, mainly like Geto Poet Society is on there. I mean, we all have individuals like Real Rilla or Rilla of the Geto Poet Society.
Sky 15.
Which was yours?
Roscoe Radio.
Roscoe Radio.
A&R Music, Young James.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's even real on IG, because I had to do that on IG.
Yeah. All right. Well, like I said before, man, I really appreciate y'all finding the time to come out here and everything like that. This episode was special to me for sure because I love hip hop, and I just love music in general. I don't have necessarily a music background or whatever per se, but I just hip hop's been like one of my best friends, I guess, you could say. It's always been there, you know what I mean? It's probably, lifted me up and, and all that stuff, whatever keeps me going, gets me motivated and stuff like that. It's, it's really, it's something.
Yeah.
And I know for some, it's life-saving for some people,
For sure.
So, but anyway, with that being said, man, follow, like, share, comment, guys. I just wanted to touch on something before what I say on here, whatever, man. It's my point of view. It's my opinion. Whatever, it reflects on me and me alone. I don't speak for anybody else. And stuff. If anybody shares my stuff or whatever, they're probably just sharing it just to be a friend and support of me. Doesn't necessarily mean that they share the same views as I do. They're just being supportive, you know what I mean? So, but with that being said, there's it's an open invite to sit in these chairs here. So, just get with me or whatever. I'm not that hard to get a hold of. That's for sure. But
and shout out to the big fam. If I forgot your name, I ain't forget about you. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, GPS has been a big family.
Yeah, for sure, right? There's a lot of people that's came and gone and stuff like that, for sure.
But still,
the main core is there.
Still holler at me to this day,
Yeah, right.
I still talk to Lady D. I still, I still talk to everybody. Jason, Bizzle,
right.
We still fam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on. Okay, man. Well, stay tuned, stay safe, stay solid, and keep your circle small.